Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I was going to say good afternoon and good evening. Uh, we're here. It's Friday, February 17th, 2023. My name is Jason Littfeld, and this is the Hostos Student Leadership uh, Friday Ambassador Workshop Series. We're happy to have all of the members of the group here participating. And today I bring you live from Africa, from Zambia, my good friend, my brother, Cyrille, who is has such a wonderful history as a CUNY alum. He was a great student leader here in the university for a very long time, for serving at Lehman College and also serving with the University Student Senate. He is well regarded by his peers and is well beloved by the Hostos family because long before he even got into the big shoes that he got into, he was volunteering with us and working on collaborative activities between all the campuses in the Bronx. And this was something that he was very passionate about. He has also brought members of our team over to Africa to do volunteer service. He's very committed to doing community work across the world. I am proud to know him. I'm proud to be affiliated with him. Every time I get to see him, it makes me look a little bit better. Looks like I actually know what I'm doing. And the last time he came to see me in person, he brought me a special award, which even made me even feel more special. So today we're going to talk about something called self-discipline is the key to success. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Cyrille. Take it over.
Thank you so much, Jason. Oh my gosh, it feels good. Always feel good to be back in the family of Hostos Community College Leadership Academy, and always feel great to just spend time with my brother, commune, and hear him introduce me like it was my funeral. But it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I'm honored to be here today. It's exactly 10:37 p.m. in Lusaka, Zambia, where I am right now. I've been here now for a couple of months. I've not officially announced that I've moved from the United States of America to back to Zambia, Africa. I'm doing um, I'm doing the same work that I was doing in the United States, which is a lot of community development, which is a lot of professional development. You know, I'm into farming as well. Yeah, so it's a great mix up of everything that I'm doing. But it's not about me today. It's about all of you who are on this Zoom. And I'm so happy to see a lot of you. Yeah, and just as I was a student, I know most of you are going through a lot as students at the same time. Some of you have jobs, some of you have volunteering for the campus, some of you are parents, most of you are commuters. You go from campus to home, far away, and it's a lot to deal with, right? But that requires a lot of commitment. It requires a lot of self-discipline. It requires a lot of just being here alone means a lot. It means you're here because you are special. And if you didn't know that, I am here to tell you that you are special, right? So usually I will require for everyone to put their camera on so that I could have an idea of who I'm talking to. Um, and I don't want to make an exception today, so I will ask for those who are not driving and who are not in the bus or the train, if you're in a closed environment, can you please put your camera on so that we could have an interactive session? I don't want to. I didn't want to do any PowerPoint or any presentation today because I wanted to have a conversation with everybody that's in the room today. Zoom is always bring back memory because anytime I jump on a Zoom, I feel like it was COVID all over again. So seeing your faces make me feel better. Make me feel like okay, we'll pass that. You know. Thank you, Jacobs, Kobe Jacobs. Thank you, Ramirez. Um, um, Daima Martinez. Thank you. Pina. Is it Sashi? Am I saying it right? Sashi? Pina? Nice. She nodded. So I'm great. Yaxeni Hernandez. I said it right? Thank you for putting
Yes,
on
you
your
did.
camera. Yeah. So for those who are available, I want us to make it interactive. You know, we're talking today about self-discipline is the key to success. Little short story about me is migrated from the United States, migrated from Africa to the United States of America. I'll say 15 to 16 years ago, and it was not easy because I was coming from a small country, Cameroon, to move to New York. And when I is everyone there? Because I feel like some people are frozen. Is everyone there? Are you guys hear me? Is everyone hearing me?
Yeah, you're just freezing here and there. I was about to text Jason.
Okay, please. Okay, good. Thank you. So to get by, and finally became an American citizen and decided to go back to college to educate myself because I was a high school dropout. So I got my GED, and CUNY, the best university system in the whole wide world, opened their arms to receive me. I did Lehman College, and I did City College of New York for my master's in film. So I'm a filmmaker by career, but I'm a life coach and motivational speaker by calling. So that's just the short story about me, so that you can put in context anything I'm going to be talking about today. So I want them to understand that life could be better, because if I made it, discipline. So I'll ask a question for those who have their camera on, and even if you don't have your camera on and you want to participate, you're welcome to do so. Self-discipline is the key to success. If you had a magic wand today, if I sent you a magic wand through the zone today, and I told you, give me the best scenario of how you want the next phase of your life to be, what would that be? If you had a
Right.
if you had a magic wand,
Say it
that man
again.
is smiling. I know speaking.
Oh, I said rich. Next life, we gotta be rich. That's why we do everything now for the next life to be rich. Gotta be rich.
Sorry. If anyone had a magic wand and they had to 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 direct the way or give a sense to the next phase of their life, what would that be? Is anyone hearing me?
Yeah, you keep.
The Zoom is freezing for a lot of people right now. Connection issues.
Oh, connection issues.
I'm not sure if it's the host, like Jason.
Yeah, I'm trying to like navigate a couple of things. It might just be like the mix of different things right now with the weather and the distance. So I made a couple of you guys co-hosts. Let's see if we can like make it work. Cyrille, you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear everyone. Surprisingly, my Wi-Fi is great. My African Wi-Fi is great. I think we should switch Wi-Fi, Jason. I'll give you the African Wi-Fi and give me the American Wi-Fi.
Okay. Does that work? So let's see if it goes. Yeah, it's showing that you have bars, so it might just be the weather in my area here. I'm trying to like run through two things. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
make it happen.
Right. If I'm not freezing anymore, I'm going to continue. Is anyone hearing me? Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I before we froze, I was asking a question. I was saying we'll be talking about self-discipline. If I should give anyone of you a magic wand and I'll ask you to define what the next phase of your life should be, what would that be? And it's a no judgment zone. Every answer is a good answer. There's
I'll answer
no
that question.
trick behind it. I just want to see. Sorry, Miss is Jones.
Yes. Yes, that's
What do
me.
you say?
I said I'll answer that question.
The answer what
If it was the magic, if it was the you
Yes,
said
ma'am.
magic wand and I had to make a choice of the next phase in life,
Yeah,
I think that it would be
yes,
yeah, I think
yes.
that I think my choices would be I think all my choices would be to make the right choices instead of the wrong ones.
I like that.
Because in my life,
I like
I
that.
guess everybody's life, we all make a lot of bad choices. So in order for it to be perfect, I would make all the good choices. And that
I
way
like
my
that.
life would be more better. Yeah. So that's my answer for that.
Thank you so much. I like your answer. I think that tells the character of the person you are, because you want to make all the right choices. You know, you don't want to make any wrong choices. I love it. Your life will be perfect. Who else has an answer for me, please? Just imagine. You can be as creative as you want. Yes, Kobe Jacobs.
I would wish to have more control over different aspects of my life.
Like?
So that also like intertwines like just being disciplined, you know.
Okay, you already do my presentation. Okay, I'm going to hand over to you so that you can finish it. I like that. That was great. Having more control, right? Having more control on your life. So making the right decisions and having more control. You guys are you both are on the same path. Who else? This is time to shine, people. Give me some answers. Tell us what you want your future to look like. Let's share your dream. Yes, Ramirez, Colvin.
Hi.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
I feel like for me it would be definitely like have more organization, I guess. Like organizing a little bit more certain things that the like I said, I don't totally have total control. I have some control, but still organize them in a way that works well with other things going on in my life. And create a lot of the disciplines that I want to learn to implement more so that it just flows, with everything else attached.
That's deep. I love it. I love it. You know what that means, Mr. Ramirez? That tells me that you're doing a lot of introspection. You're already thinking a lot about where you want your future, where you want the future to take you. Am I right or wrong? Because your answer was very detailed and very deep. So it looks like
You are correct.
you look at.
Yes.
I like that. All right. We have Mackenzie says developing clarity, and all saying says clarity is power. Powerful, powerful. Jason, you have a very strong bunch this time around. I love it. Everybody here is like have their head on their shoulder. Give me two more answers, please, and then we're going to jump into this presentation.
Hi. I want to be more financially literate in the future, as I am very irresponsible with money. So I think that's something that's very important to me. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, I'm clapping because you were very straightforward, and you gave an answer that put you in a vulnerable state. Some people don't like to speak about their struggles, and I appreciate you for that. You know, this is a space for that. This is a space to to open up, and then let's work together to get. So I like that. So you're not disciplined with your finances, and your magic wand will help you, will assist you in becoming more disciplined. That's great. That's great. I love it. Love it. That's powerful. One last person, or two more if you want, but be more in control, you know, just change the thing into positive, making sure that we have self-discipline. That's all. Those are great answers. If we don't have any other answer, I'm going to say it looks like the team already directed everyone's mind into how they had to answer that question, right? If I had a magic wand right now, with all the experience I've acquired in my years of community service, I will make the world a better place. I will acquire enough superpowers to make sure that the world can become a better place. You know, so what does that mean? Today we're talking about self-discipline. What is self-discipline? When we talk about self-discipline, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Mr. Jacobs, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when we talk about self-discipline? I know it's self-explanatory, but what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear self-discipline? Self-discipline.
The first thing that comes to my mind is completing a task, even in the moments you feel the most, I would say, like, that you don't want to do the task, you know, just doing it anyway.
Agree. Totally agree. Can someone add to that? I love that. I love that answer. You don't want to do it, but okay, everybody is they're students. We have assignments, right? Sometimes you have that assignment, you spend time, you don't feel like doing it, but you have to do it because you need to pass that class. You know, so that's an example of what Kobe Jacobs just said. I love that answer. Can someone add anything to that right there? Self-discipline.
Consistency.
Sorry?
Being consistent.
Being what?
When you're being consistent.
Being consistent, yeah. Being consistent. I like that, Miss Pina. So self-discipline, 2 words. Self is us, right? You. And discipline, the ability to be consistent, the ability to do the things that you have to do even when you don't want to do them, right? So for me, I was thinking about self-discipline when I was preparing this presentation. I was like, self-discipline, that's a strong word. That's establish programs to enrich the life of others. Okay. Is that Gladys, is that self-discipline, or you were just talking about something else? But I like that, establishing programs to enrich the life of others. So when I was thinking about self-discipline, what came to my mind was the ability to do what you do, what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's what Kobe Jacobs said, right? That was the answer. The ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you like it or not. That's self-discipline. In the beginning of the year, a lot of people do something that I truly don't like, which is called resolutions, New Year resolutions. How many people are still holding on to their New Year resolutions here that they did in January or the end of December? So people decided to go to the gym. I'm sure most of those people, the gym membership is not working anymore. You know, some people decided to eat healthy. I'm sure that one is gone through the window too. You know, I'm not going to call any names. Some people decided to do a lot of things, you know, but they didn't hold on to it. Lack of self-discipline. You have to do it, either you like it or not, right? The key to success is self-discipline. We have some words that we use loosely, like consistency, right? Consistency. How many times do we wake up and we say, okay, I'm going to be consistent today. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to do all the things I have to do. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to hold myself accountable and look back through the day and tell myself, wow, I'm proud of you for doing what you had to do. Most of us don't do that because the pattern that we use for our days, they may not be the wrong pattern, but they are not the pattern that allow us to actually achieve things that we want to achieve. So one of the things that I do in the morning when I wake up is, the first thing is, after taking my quiet time and meditate, the second thing is I take a pen and a notepad and I write the things I have to do during the day. I write them down because most of the time, if you keep them in your mind, by the time you walk out of your room, you already forgot one or two things. So I write the things I have to do on my notepad, and that's my accountability partner, right? I write it down. I'm like, and I'm very specific. I put timing. I say 7 a.m. breakfast or walking or jogging, 8 a.m. this, 9 a.m. that, and then it goes on through the day. And I've been doing that for a while now, and it helps me to accomplish a lot. So now what I do, I set up my day on my pad, and then I check it off when I'm doing it. So I always work with my notepad with me. You know, when I do one thing, I check it off. I do another thing, I check it off. Because I knew that I used to be a very distracted person. Not distracted in a negative way, but distracted because I am an overachiever. I love to achieve a lot. So sometimes I will do 10 different tasks at the same time, and I will not finish all of them. Is there anyone here just like that? Is there anyone here who does a lot but don't achieve all of them? Don't finish everything? Jason, that used to be me.
Yes.
You know, so so I'm an overachiever, so I will take a lot of things at the same time, and then I will not finish all of them. And it used to hurt me because at the end of the day, when I take account of everything that I was supposed to do, I will have a lot of things that I have, and now I will feel bad about myself. And one thing I promised myself when I became self-conscious was that I don't want to feel bad about myself. I want to make sure that I am as much proud of myself as possible. So what did I do? I said, Cyrille, you're going to find a way to not take a lot of tasks at a time, take enough for you to achieve so that your self-esteem can be high. Because sometimes the little things that we do raise our self-esteem or bring down our self-esteem. It's very important. It's very important, right? So I decided to always work with that notepad. And even if I don't have the notepad with me, if I'm in a place where I don't have a notepad with me, I have my phone and I take down notes in my phone. Very important, right? So I don't have any excuse not to accomplish the things I need to accomplish. Because again, self-discipline, as we define it in the beginning, is the ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. So you have to tell yourself, if you get that magic wand and you see into the future and you tell yourself, in the next 5 years, I would like to graduate with my bachelor's, I would like to move to my master's. And you make all those plans that we do, right, on a vision board. I know some of you here have a vision board. But for those who don't have a vision board, that's another way of having self-discipline. Because self-discipline for a short-term vision board and a long-term vision board is set that goal, visual goal, that you look at every morning when you wake up, for you to hold on to it. And some of my students and some of my clients are very specific. When I finally give them the vision board concept, they become very specific with it. They put timeline, they put years, they put month, they put everything, because it helps you to hold yourself accountable. So self-discipline works with accountability. Self-discipline works with accountability. Accountability is something that most of us don't have. You know why? Because we're just on the go. We're just on the go. If you have a job and you're a student at the same time, all you do is just going. You don't stop. You don't pause and do a self-check and say, oh, did I achieve this? Did I do what I had to do? No, you just keep going. And when you keep going, when you're just going, it's tough to be accountable. You know, you feel like you're achieving stuff, But when you look, when you pause and introspect, you're going to notice that there's a lot of things that you didn't finish. And I'm talking about myself a couple of years ago. It was tough. I had to tell myself, no, Cyril, you can't continue like that, because you're on a path of leadership. And for you to be a good leader, you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable. For you to be a good leader, you don't have to make excuses. You know why? Because people are looking up to you. There are people who are looking up to you. There are people who are looking up to this. There's a lot of people who are expecting from you. So most of you on this call, on this Zoom, are young leaders, and I already know that in your leadership role, you are in charge, and there's a lot of people who are expecting from you. So for you to be up to par, for you to be on top of the game, as you say all the time, you have to be self-disciplined. You have to be accountable. You have to make sure that everything that you set yourself to do, you have to achieve it, so that you don't do things halfway. All right. So self-discipline, the key to success. What is success? What is success? If I ask someone here, what is your idea of success? What's your idea of success? Someone help me here. What's your idea of success? Diana Martinez, your camera is on, so I'm going to call you.
Like, I wanted to think about it to say it correctly. So I wanted to say like accomplishing success is like accomplishing something that you said you would do. Like I feel like
I
that's
love
what
it.
it is.
Yes, I love it. Trust me, you don't need to be apologetic about that. That's a great answer. Again, success can be huge for some people, and just the little things, just accomplishing something that you set yourself, because most people don't accomplish what they set themselves to do. So if that's your idea of success, I appreciate it. I love it. Somebody says achieving your goals. Ashley Lahab said achieving your goals. Yes, achieving your goals. That's an idea of success, right? I could take it a step further. Who else can tell me what's the idea? So I could take it a step further, right? I was raised by a single mother of three. I never knew who my father was. So success to me was not to be my father's son, right? Success to me was, I'm going to be a father, and I'm going to hold on to my fatherhood. I'm going to make sure to be a good father and a good husband, and I'm doing that. I'm raising three children, with me, and I'm making sure that I am present. I am not only a good husband, but I'm a present and a good father. Because sometimes fatherhood is so tough. Parenthood is so tough. You're present, but you're not, because you're always working out there doing things, and then we'll come back, we're tired. But I told myself I will make sure to be present and make sure that I am a good father, because I never knew my father. So to me, that's success. To me, right? For other people, success is financial gain, is financial growth. Okay, somebody muted me. Making sure that we achieve everything that we set ourselves. Again, when you come from nothing like us, you want to make sure to gain a lot, right? So that's success. But there is no success without self-discipline. There's no success without self-discipline. So success is defined by how disciplined you are. Your success is defined by how disciplined you are. If your success is achieving your goals, you have to put in work. You have to put in work. I could push it further. Ashley, what are those goals you want to achieve? Give me one of them, and let's see how.
Uh-oh. I think, Cyrille, are you there?
I'm here, but what happened in Africa is the light goes off, so I think that's what happened.
Okay.
So let me just put my solar power
And thank you all for your patience. Maybe this is the message, we have to come back and do stuff in person. The technology issues. No, there's like been a number of different issues here today. Sorry about the technology issues. I think the weather up by where I am is causing some problems, and I think the distance here. So we're trying to like manage it with everybody's help, and we'll see how that goes.
All right, I'm back. So for those, sorry about that. For those who are not in developing countries, there's something that happens sometimes where light goes off. We are privileged enough that we have solar powers here. So when the light goes off, we just turn on the solar automatically. So that's what just happened. So you guys just experience Africa in real time. I love it. Yes. So what we're talking about, success and self-discipline. So there is no success without self-discipline. If you speak to the wealthy and the successful people we have out there, they will tell you it was a great sacrifice. They had to sacrifice something, to be successful. And it could mean time, one of my mentors told me for him to be successful, he had to not go out with friends, and he was a boring one. He was the one that never went out. All his friends went to club, to the bars and everything, and he said he wasn't going because he had a goal to achieve. He had a goal to achieve, and that goal he wanted to achieve was to retire himself early and to retire his wife. And he did. He did. So he sacrificed a lot. While his friends were going out drinking and clubbing, he wasn't part of that. He was home working hard to get to that place where he's, and he's very successful today, and I'm proud to call him a mentor. So and again, I'm just saying that's one part of self-discipline. It's difficult to be a young person like most of you on this call and not go out and have fun, because all of us work so hard. Sometimes we want to distress, right? And distressing means a lot of things. Distressing means going to the club, going to the bar with friends, just going out on picnic or whatever you want to do to distress. But for some people, that's distracting. So so they're not going to do that. So no matter what your success is, I want us to agree that you can't achieve that success without self-discipline. You can't, because the lack of self-discipline is the cause of failure. The lack of self-discipline is the cause of frustration. The lack of self-discipline is a cause of underachievement. And all the things that I've just named will bring you an unhappiness in your life. Because if failure affects us in many ways, failure affects us in many ways, and sometimes we think it's difficult to be disciplined, but you just have to start. They always say it takes 21 days to form a habit, but when you form that habit, it's easy to just duplicate it over and over and over and make it work. You will not know how easy it is until you try, right? You will not know how easy it is until you try. So I encourage and urge everyone on this call to try self-discipline in every aspect of your life. Is like I had a client who was struggling with smoking, as easy as it, smoking. He was a chain smoker, and it was affecting his health, it was affecting his relationship and everything. And when he came to me, we created a plan where I was like, we're going to work together, and you're going to make sure that you apply some discipline so that this can reduce. And I said, I have something that I work. I said, let's buy a piggy bank. You know, let's buy a piggy bank. Every time you need to smoke 3 cigarettes, put the money for 2 of them in a piggy bank, and then smoke one, and then reduce, go down, and just be conscious of the fact that you're doing this not only for yourself, but you're doing this for your family, your relationship, and everything that you always almost lost because of that. And a couple of months later, he came back to me and he was very proud to tell me it worked. You know, it worked. He's happy in his relationship and everything. So self-discipline is something that you exchange. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be something that goes harsh. You don't have to do it harshly. You just have to take your time and tell yourself it's a process. Self-discipline is a process. It is a process. But what need to encourage you is the end goal. If you tell yourself, I want to achieve this in the next 3 to 6 months, you have to make sure that you apply self-discipline so that you meet your timeline. That end goal should be your motivation. That end goal should be what drives you to be better. For us as students, we're at Hostos Community College and we want to achieve that first degree. Want to achieve that first degree, graduate from Hostos or transfer from Hostos to Lehman or John Jay or one of them. Self-discipline have to be applied so that we achieve all those things. And I love self-discipline because self-discipline creates balance. It creates balance. When I was working, when I was a student at Lehman, I was doing Uber. I was an Uber driver, right? And at that time, Uber was so great, and we were making so much money driving Uber. I almost dropped out from Lehman College. Right? Because I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go and drive the car. Oh, no, I used to drive at night and go to school in the daytime. And I'll come back from the campus and I'll just jump in the car and start driving all night. But at some point, I needed to tell myself, Cyrille, is great to make money, but the goal here is graduating with your bachelor's. You know? So I would drive and at night I'll say, Cyrille, no, this is the last client. After this client, drive and go home. You know, that was self-discipline. And it wasn't easy, but I pushed. As I said, it's a process. So it wasn't easy, but I pushed. I made sure that I couldn't drive more than 6 hours so that I had time to go home and rest, so that I'll be refreshed to go to school in the morning, you know. So those overtimes are great. It gives you extra money, but your health is taking a toll. Because you're going to school and you're working at the same time, you have to create a balance. Self-discipline we're talking about here, people, right? You have to create a balance. You have to tell yourself, okay, why am I going to school? I'm going to school because I want to educate myself. I want to break the generational curse in my generation, which is again, I'm talking about myself. After my graduation, after graduating with my master's degrees, that was a generational curse I broke because in my family, I was the first to achieve to graduate to the master's degrees, right? So I couldn't allow Uber to take that dream away from me. So I created the balance and I created that self-discipline to stay in course. And while I was in school, I was a student leader, I was doing all those great things, you could easily lose it, you know? So it's very important that in anything that we do, we understand that self-discipline is that thing that's going to create that balance so that we should be able to stay on course with the goal that we want to achieve. All right. So my question to all of you today is, if you can share with me, what is your challenge? What is that thing that hinders you from creating that self-discipline mentality? Just give me one challenge.
Myself.
Can you repeat
I
the
like that.
question?
Casey, I like that. I like that. Can you break that down for us, Casey, please?
Sure. I mean, I think the only thing that's standing in my way is myself. Like I just need to like, like convince myself enough
that like this is a
Uh-huh.
priority and like this is what I need to do, and then just like get it done. Because like I feel like the biggest thing is just to like be our own motivators and like our own cheerleaders, and then like that's a good way to look at it, just to convince yourself enough that that is what you want, and then you will get it done.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
You said you use the word that's very powerful. Priority. Casey.
Yes, sir.
I don't know
Definitely.
if you know. I don't know if you noticed that, but that word is awesome. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that you know what to do. You just have to convince yourself to do
Yeah,
it.
I feel like a lot of people know what to do, but like sometimes we're just like so relaxed and like just so comfortable in the spot that we are that like we just don't do what we have to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow, I love it. Oh, it's you, Casey. You said yes. I agree. I need to pass this biology class and graduate. Yeah, priority. Graduating.
Yes, sir. Priority.
Yeah, actually, I have to say graduating is achieving our goals. Yeah. So most of us are talking about the same thing here, right? Um, Melanie said criticism. Can you break that down for us, Melanie? What do you mean by criticism? Is that something that's hindering you from your self-discipline?
Yes, sometimes I
Talk to
criticize
us about it.
myself, criticism from others, or sometimes I easily criticize myself, and that hinders me.
Okay. So I would not call that criticism. I'll call it self-sabotaging, right? You're holding yourself down from a lot of things that
Right.
you can do, right?
Okay, exactly.
Yes. So one thing that I struggle with a lot myself was that, because again, remember in the beginning, for those that were there, I told you I grew up without a father. So I used to live a lot with uncles and aunties, my mom, uncles and aunties, and a lot of them I was abused, verbally abused by them, and they'll tell me a lot of negative stuff about me. And those things stuck in my mind, right? I will hear those voices in my head for long. Even when I was growing, when I became an adult, I would still hear those voices. And those voices will hinder me from actually deciding to do the right things. So I had to fight against that to be able to achieve what I've achieved today. I had to tell myself, Cyril, you're not that, because again, I got to a point where I felt like I was what these people were talking about. No, I wasn't. You will not let people's inability to see your worth define you. If people can't see how worthy you are, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy. They're not just seeing it. Because most of the time we allow people's voices to dictate how our lives are going to be. I want us to be clear with that. Some people will say negative stuff to you because they have issues with themselves, not because it's true that what they're saying about you is true, but they have issues with themselves. Some people are just jealous by what you're achieving, and they feel like, oh, I have to just throw some word to make her or him feel bad. We should not fall for that. You should not fall for that. I remember when I started school in New York, um, there's someone in my circle who always told me, no, what do you think education is? Just go and look for a job and get something to do. But for me, my goal was education. I had to achieve my master's degrees. And she said that for long, but I never let that, deter me from achieving what I wanted to achieve. So Melanie, I understand what you're going through, and I just want you to say, I just want to tell you that your goal should be that thing that close your ears from listening to what people are saying. You should just stay focused on your goal, and you're going to achieve it.
Yes, thank you. I needed that. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Yeah, you just tell yourself it's about you. At this point, it's about you. There's nothing that anyone is going to say that's going to stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. Because you know what? When you achieve what you want to achieve, it's going to raise your self-esteem. And that's what you need. You don't need validation from anyone. You need validation from yourself. And when you hear those voices from other people, it start playing tricks on your mind and telling you that what they're saying is true. And then now you start self-sabotaging. So I have news for you. The moment I tell people all the time, the moment you listen to what people are saying, you go back in your chambers, in your room, or wherever you do your quiet time, you have to you know, unplug all those things that everybody says about yourself and tell yourself positive things. That's why I do affirmations in the morning and in the evening. Affirm to yourself. Tell yourself, Melanie, you're great. Melanie, you're awesome. You know, Melanie, you're going to be successful. It doesn't matter what they say. You know, challenge. What are the challenges that hinders us from being self-disciplined? We've spoken about criticism. What else? Yes, well-being. Well, what? How do you say your first name?
Well-being.
Well-being. Okay, I said it right.
Yeah, thank you. Well, apart from the other ones have been said that were also in my mind, I guess it's just like sometimes we let maybe other people's success, like maybe like other things we've seen, either somebody in our family, somebody that we care about, other we look up to, we think like, oh, they're doing this and that. So like they're doing so great. How did they get there? And then when they tell you, you're like, oh wait, I can't do that. Like I guess we sometimes like underestimate ourselves and the capacity that we do, and sometimes I guess we don't look at even in our limits, because everybody has their limits and everyone has their weaknesses and strengths and how they kind of go about it. So I guess it's just like not letting, like sometimes we let other people, and sometimes myself, I would think about like, oh wait, this person did it this way. How will I do it? Would I get on their level? How would I do it for myself? Like stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
I love it. I love that. I love that, Robin. You know what you just described right now? I have one of my favorite quote that I use all the time. I'm competing against nobody but myself. That's one of my, it's on my wall in my room. I'm competing against nobody but myself. You know why? I'm my own competition. If you want to start looking at people's success and feel bad about it, you're never going to succeed. You know, because again, life is a marathon. Life is not a sprint. Some people go faster, some people go slower, some people, you know, take their time. I was an adult student. I was an adult learner. So you think I was in the classroom looking at young 18 years old? No, I'm going to have those A's. You're 18, you want to YOLO, you only live once. That's for you. I'm going to pass this class. I'm not going to sit down and wait for you. You know, and I was my best competition. You know, with that said, I made sure I put all the chances on my side. I spoke positively to myself. I made sure I went to the library. I did all I had to do. I submitted my assignments on time so that I should be on the right side. I didn't play games, you know, and you create the self-discipline where you know where you're going. I knew that I was an adult learner. I wasn't there to spend time with the young students, you know, doing what they do. They had the time. They had the time. They could have failed the class and come back the next year. I didn't have that time. So I had to pass once and move on, you know, and I didn't let my situation hold me back. So you're right, it's important. Sometimes we look at people and we're like, oh my God, how did they do that? I can't. No, guess what? It's not your time, Robin. Take your time. Take your time. Don't let anyone pressure you. Peer pressure. Don't let anyone pressure you. If anyone tell you you're taking time, tell them, guess what? Yeah, I'm taking time. I'm not rushing. We're going to succeed anyway. The only thing I'm going to add on to what you said is do never quit. Do never quit. Take your time, but do never quit. Because quitting is not an option. You know, what self-discipline does to you is that it builds you enough not to be a quitter. It builds you enough not to be a quitter, right? So every challenge that we've spoken about here, if you think about it, the moment you create a mentality of self-discipline, it takes you away from that, right? If you are a procrastinator and you decide that you're going to start working towards not procrastinating anymore, that's the best thing ever, because now if you usually wait for the last minute to do your assignment, I know on this call there's a lot of people that I'm not going to call any names. There's some people who wait for the night before to do the assignment, you know, and then now you just rush it, you know. You just rush it. You rush the assignment and then you don't get the right grade, you know. So with that said, what do? Francine Kala say, never give up no matter what. Yeah, never give up no matter what, right? Never give up no matter what. You have to make sure that the self-discipline is created in such a way you do not quit no matter what. Right? So you have, if procrastination is something I struggle with a lot many years back, again, because I was an overachiever, I thought I had the superpowers to do things in 1 second until I started not being able to do those things. And then I started feeling bad about myself, you know? So, and then I noticed that procrastination wasn't something great. I have a lot of people tell me, no, I function well under pressure. No, I know people function well under pressure, but it's always tough when you have to rush that 4-page paper in one night. No. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling, right? So self-discipline is the key to success. Is a key to success in everything that we do. It's like an athlete. An athlete, and Usain Bolt always say that, I trained for 4 years to run for 30 seconds at the Olympics. I trained for 4 years. So Usain Bolt trained for 4 years to win 6 medals at the Olympics. Dedication, commitment, consistency, self-discipline. Very
And
important.
can we also talk about how many times he failed before he got to that point as well?
Can we talk about what, Casey?
I'm saying we should also mention how many times he failed as well before he got to that point.
Agreed. Totally
Yeah.
agreed. You
Yep,
know,
he failed so many
totally
times
agreed.
before he got to that moment. So we should also, keep that in mind too, that not because we're so dedicated and we do it the first time, it doesn't mean that we're going to get a result right then and there.
No.
Sometimes it
And
happens the next time. Right.
Yeah. Totally agree. Thank you for that. And that's why I spoke about the 4 years training, right? Because when he said during those 4 years of training, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears happening, right? And that's what you're talking about. This the failure, I want to run 45 seconds, I want to run 1 minute, I want to work with this. No. Yes, Mackenzie, she said, wait, pause, which boat fail? Yes, the boat that we know. If you YouTube his videos, you will see him losing some races before getting to that place where he was the greatest. You know, failure is something that can make you or break you, right? But in this context, self-discipline is what will keep you consistent in the process of achieving your goal, right? In this context of self-discipline that we're talking about, self-discipline is going to keep you consistent in the process of achieving your goal. It's very important that we understand that when you create a self-discipline, consistency happens, right? Consistency happens. And because of all the things that we're doing, as I said on this call, I'm sure there are people who are actually at work right now, but because this is a requirement, they have to be on the call, right? But it's great because you know that I need to do what I need to do to get where I need to get. So I need to have that job, but educating myself and elevating my level of education is very important, you know? So whatever you do repeatedly becomes a habit. Whatever you do repeatedly becomes a habit. And when you form that habit, the things that you thought were difficult to do becomes easy to do, right? So it's very important that we understand the importance of self-discipline in our path to success. Bad habits are easy to form. Bad habits are easy to form, but they are hard to live with. Good habits are difficult to form, but easy to live with. Did we get that? You create a bad habit, you go to bed late when you have to be in class early, or you have to go to work early, then the next day you're tired. You don't want Well, Beanie is shaking her head. I'm sure she's the one who does that all the time.
Yes, I'm still working on the whole like going to sleep on certain days early, knowing that I have to wake up really early because I wake up early naturally. Discipline for myself. So I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm not helping myself going to sleep late. So I'm working on.
Yep, I like that, and I like the fact that you're actually real to tell us what you're struggling with. Because I woke up every day at 4:30, and by 8 I've achieved a lot. I can after 4:30 I don't sleep. I have a mental alarm. I can't help it. You know, I don't use alarms. My mind is set for 4:30. 4:30 I'm up, and usually when I walk out of my room, and then by 10, 11 I've achieved everything I had to achieve. That's when people start their day, and everybody around me is asking me, why are you so energized? Why are you so energetic? How did you do? I'm like, I've been up before you, and you were still sleeping, you know, and I've already achieved everything, you know. But it's self-discipline. I set up my mind like that to make sure that my day is done when people's day is starting.
Can
You
I
know, why are you
ask?
waking up late? Somebody in Japan already made money and they're going to bed, you know. I'm serious, right? The world doesn't function at the same time. Why you wake up late yet? Somebody already made money. Now you're struggling to make a little bit of money, you know. So self-discipline is the key. Good habit. We're talking about
No. I wanted to ask, how
yes.
do you get that mindset? Like, what is it that,
How do you get
like, how do you keep the mindset for
how
the
do you
self?
keep the mindset?
That's my, I feel like for me, that's my biggest concern on whenever I try to do something. I'll start with the daily affirmations. I'll start trying to be like, okay, this is the time for me to wake up. I have to do this moment. But then after a while, I'm just like, why? Like that's what I
What
want
is your motive?
to have such a like you it's like yeah, a motivation or like just the the get going. Like what is it that why? Like how?
But what's your why though? What's your why? Why do you do the things that you're doing? Why do you even start doing the positive things? If you tell me why you're doing the positive things, then we together will understand that you can actually keep doing it, or let that mindset of not finishing it get inside and distract you. What's your why, Daima? Tell me what's your why, please.
I want to say my why is to get better mentally, physically, and emotionally. That is one of my biggest whys. But then it's like I guess my tiredness and everything that I am just overcomes it and my why just gets smaller.
So tell me, when you look at your why, do you think you're going to be a better version of yourself if you achieve your why?
That's why I like that's what I'm saying. Like you'll feel like you would get better motivation of yourself, but I guess I let the other part that's like bigger crush it.
Mm-hmm. So there is always that battle, right? There's always that battle. And one of my mentors always told me, if your why is not clear enough, then you're going to go through what you're going through. You're going to let those things crush the why and let your self-discipline be smaller. You have to make sure that your why is clear. Again, I'll give you a simple example on myself. When I was a student, my why was graduating with my master's degrees. When I graduated with my bachelor's at Lehman College, most of my classmates told me, no, I'm going to take a year off. I'm tired of this school and everything. You know what I did? I registered at City College, applied for City College Film School directly, because I knew I didn't have the luxury to take a year off, right? Something would have told me, no, Cyrille, do like everybody else, take a year off and get some rest. And I would have never gone for my master's degrees. You know, so my why was very clear. I wanted that master's in film. My why was super clear. I had it on my vision board. I already had my graduation picture of my master's degrees on my vision board. So there is no way I would have let that break. I would have let anything break that down. You know, I think the way you keep that mindset is by clarifying your why, by having your why in such a clear way in front of you. Like, as I said, vision board, as I say, writing your notepad, holding yourself accountable enough so that you don't let those things creep in your mind and take away your self-discipline. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Clarify your why. Make your why super clear. Draw a picture of the house you want to own. Draw a picture of the type of family you want to have. Do whatever you want to do, the car you want to drive. Everybody have a motivation. You know, the job you want to have or the business you want to have. All that on a vision board is going to clarify, because every morning and evening when you walk in that room and look at that picture, you're like, I'm not going to sleep until I finish that assignment because I need to graduate.
Now, what if your why doesn't match up with someone else's why? If it's like blocking.
If you no, but your why is personal, Diana.
Yeah, but if your why is your why, but then there's others around you that have a certain why as well, but it contributes to yours. Like how, in a way, like
Are
how
you good? You know,
somebody sees you being successful and others are around you are telling you like, hey, I want to do that too, but it affects you.
50 Cent always said he's not I love him not as an artist, but as a successful entrepreneur. He always said when he left, when he went, I think when he went to the hospital when he got shot, he came back on the block, and he saw that the same people that he left on the block were still there. That's when he knew he needed to leave the block, right? So you don't want to align your why with others people why. Just like what being said earlier, the people are in the house and they're succeeding, they're doing things, and then she's looking at them like, oh, I don't, why am I not achieving this? You know, so you want your why to be personal, you want your why to be your why. So your center of attention is what you want for yourself. We don't care what anybody else is doing at this point, because I am my biggest competition, right? And I'm going to motivate myself to be the best version of myself. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to look at that person in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. Even if nobody tells me they're proud of me, I'm going to tell myself I'm proud of myself. You know, that's why we apply self-discipline. We apply self-discipline because we want that motivation, we want that our self-esteem to rise when we achieve the things that used to be difficult. The day I submitted my first assignment on time, I was so proud of myself. I went home and I told everybody. I was like, guys, that assignment was due next 2 days and I submitted it today. And everybody was like, so? I was like, no, you guys don't get it. It's just great. It feels good to finally submit an assignment on time, because I used to be the one begging the professor to take my late assignment. I used to be the one coming to class with red eye because I didn't sleep all night, typing a 6-page paper and all that. But when I created the self-discipline, I was so proud. I rejoiced just because of submitting an assignment on time. You know, that's what self-discipline is going to do to you. Self-discipline is going to give you a sense of, oh, wow, I'm better than what I thought. Because everything happened in our mind. That battle happens in our mind. You can either self-sabotage or you can self-elevate. It happens in your mind. It's very important that those little things we can create. And I have a great news for everyone on this call. Every habit is learnable. Every habit is learnable. So we're not talking about things that are not achievable. And tell yourself, I want to learn how. Do not try to do a big chunk in one time. Start small. Start 1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. And before you know, it's going to compound. It's going to be a lot of small habit that will become a big habit. Bishop says, I agree, that drive and ambition. Ambition, yes, you're right. You know, you're right. Some people get stuck because they want to do it in 1 day. I just want to change. I'm going to change in 3 days. That's the issue I have with the New Year resolutions. Because you get excited on the New Year and say you're going to go to the gym. Guess what? It doesn't happen like that. It's a habit. You have to start small. You know, start small. Start doing for
Cyrille, I think we lost your sound.
Did he freeze for anybody else?
Yeah, you got frozen.
I was like, the rain came down harder, and
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the weather here. The
gym membership. Don't get excited about, oh, because it's January 1st, I feel like I could just go to the gym. No, everything is in small bites. Start small, and as you
We lost you for a minute, Cyrille.
I didn't hear you, Jason. What did you say?
We lost you about 45 seconds ago.
I'm back.
You're back now.
Okay, I'm back.
A little frozen, but we can hear you.
Okay. So I'll ask this question, and then we're going to take questions, comments, and concern. How does it feel? How will it feel for you all on this call to finally being able to do the things that you've been challenged with? And you can share it if you can. Robin, I know Robin is ready to share. She doesn't have any problems. And Diane, how will it feel for you to finally wake up and just do something that you had difficulties doing? Can you express that feeling?
I feel like it would be good. But I would like to just have the feeling of knowing that I can keep doing it.
You say you like to what? I didn't hear.
I
didn't
have
hear
the
you.
feeling of like doing it, like keeping the feeling of keep going. Like I would love to wake up and be like, this is normal. Like the new way of doing what I thought I couldn't is doing it.
I like that.
Yeah,
like that answer.
Yeah, I agree. It's making it like, see how like I'm saying, like I already started like the whole 6 a.m. I've been doing it for a while, but there's still certain things I gotta like tweak and add. I feel like it's just making it seem like more natural. Like, feel like this is how like your brain already like puts it like, oh, waking up at 4:30. It's the same thing for me, but there's days where like I said, I do that. I know go to sleep really late, and, like knowing that I should probably go home now, but I'm over here like distracted, or like things like that, so it can just go smoothly. Where it just becomes a natural part of like your daily, like your daily activity, all of that. So then it just you're not stressed, you're organized, you got all this stuff down and written down, and yeah, and it just comes naturally even when you forget. It's like, oh wait, but then it's like an extension of your body now. Like I know we were gonna say it just happens. Like, oh, I woke up. Oh yeah, I gotta do my morning routine, all that stuff. Yeah.
I love it. It's natural. You hear the word you use, it becomes natural. When you practice that habit little by little, it becomes natural. That's a process. I want everyone to understand that there is a process to it, and it happens. You just have to take it one day at a time and make it a habit, right? Move motivated and determined to continue on that path. Melanie, break that down to me. What does that mean? Is Melanie here?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Just basically to keep me it'll make me feel like, give me the motivation to continue to do the things that I need to do and go on the same path. Can you hear me?
He frozen, and I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So achieve is going to give you the motivation and the determination to continue doing the things that you have to do, right? That feeling, that's what I'm talking about. Bishop says I have a switch of momentum. Bishop, can you break that down for me, please?
Like switch of momentum sometimes for me could be like, let's say I've been wanting to get up and do something like something constructive. But let's say it could be the weather, like, oh, it's raining outside, or it's like, oh, that kind of switches how I move. Like
You're far away. I'm not hearing what you. I'm not hearing what. I'm not hearing what you're saying. Are you? If you're using a mic, I think you're far away. Mhm.
One second.
Are you there?
So
Okay, this is there.
switch of momentum for me can sometimes be like, let's say I have to do an assignment and it's due in 2 days, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this assignment for something, let's say, comes up. That kind of will like switch up on how I would go about doing an assignment or go about
Okay.
my.
So, so assignment is due in 2 days, and something comes up, right? And that's what Diana Martinez and I were talking about. How do you not focus on what is important? What is your priority? If that things that comes up is, let's say, a job, let's say they're calling you for what do you guys, they always call you guys for what, for to come and do extra hours. What do you call that? They give you
Oh,
they pay you to
you do have to, like, if they're short of staff and you have to come in and do overtime.
overtime. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Overtime. OT. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. So they call you for OT. Now it's up to you to tell yourself, Bishop, that is the OT I'm going to do. I'm laughing because I used to be in that situation, and I used to have conversation with myself like, this money is good, but it's not good enough for me not to pass this class. Now I have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Self-discipline comes with choices, a lot of choices. You have to make a choice. If that OT is I don't know, $100 extra or whatever, you're going to have to weigh that and say, okay, maybe this money is going to help me to do more, but I need the time to finish this assignment on time. Right? It's very important. It's very important to be able to make the right choices. And somebody said in the beginning of the presentation, if I had a magic wand, I will make sure that I make all the right choices. Because self-discipline goes hand in hand with choices. Goes hand in hand with choices. That discipline can't work if you can't tell yourself, instead of me eating this right here, meanwhile I decided I want to eat healthy, I'm going to make a choice to close this fridge and drink a bottle of water instead. I know it's painful, but I'm going to do it. Right? Because my health depends on it. My health depends on it. So you make a choice and then you look at the end goal. I said it in the middle of the presentation. End goal is what guides you to create a self-discipline, right? And then the choices, the consistency is what help you to keep that self-discipline. Very important. Very, very important. So, questions, comments, concerns. Then my shaking her head. What? No questions, no comment, no concerns. What did you get out of this, and what do you think you're going to do when you leave this platform to start implementing your self-discipline mindset? Self-discipline is the key to a lot of greatness.
I mean,
And
for me, it would just honestly be that I will try, or not try, like changing my vocabulary is one of the biggest things. Instead of saying try, it's saying do.
I will
And
do it.
like I
Yeah.
will do the things that I want to do, and I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm gonna do those things, and just do have the positive mindset, doing the things that do contribute to having more of the outgoing positive mindset towards myself and not just others.
I like it. Again, you know all the things you need to do. You just have to apply them. Because I listen to you speak and you say all the right things. You corrected yourself just by the word that came out. Because remember, the word is powerful. Anything that comes out of your mouth becomes. So you corrected yourself because in your mind, you know that that word could have deterred what you wanted to do. I love it. I love it. So you're already in the process of creating that self-discipline. I just want you to believe that you can do it. I want you to believe that it's possible. And I want you to tell yourself, if anyone that's successful did it, you can do it. Because you're not different from them. You are a young leader. That's why you're in this platform. You are a young leader. That's why you're in this platform. You're special. That's why you're in this platform. You know, and in the process of your leadership and all the things that you're doing, you're learning, you're networking, you're meeting all these great people, and guess what it's doing? It's creating even a bigger sense of a high self-esteem in you. So that should be a great motivation for you to tell yourself, I'm going to create this self-discipline mindset so that I become that leader that I'm already seeing in the making right now. You know, I'm so, when I tell you all, I'm so honored anytime I get a call from Jason to present, because he saw me when I was nothing. He saw me when I was just a student at Lehman College trying to be a leader, a student leader. You know, so just imagine how great it is that a mentor, a leader that saw you when you were nothing, picks up his phone and calls you and says, it doesn't matter if you are in Antarctica or if you are in the North Pole, I want you to be part of this series, right? To me, when I look at the text message and I look at the call, I'm like, oh my God, I'm awesome, I'm great. You know, he's calling me because he values me. He knows that I've grown. I've come to a place where I was just a young student of Lehman College to a leader right now that's able to come and empower the younger leaders. That means a lot to me, right? And if I wasn't self-disciplined, I will not achieve that goal. I will not be where I am today. I will not be where I am today. I will not have people like Jason, like Suzette, like all these people who are still reaching out and still connecting with me, stay in touch. There's a lot of students. How many students, Jason, how many students pass in front of you that you don't even remember after they graduate? You understand? So if I feel special receiving that call to say, come and speak to the student. I feel special. And that is the result of self-discipline. Is the result of that compound sacrifices that I did throughout the years, you know, as a student at CUNY and as a student leader to be where I am today. And that place is for everyone on this call, because you all as well are doing what you have to do to become what you need to become. So it's very important that we understand, you know, the power of self-discipline. Oh, I saw a hand clapping. Oh, that feels so good. That feels so good. That feels so good. When I said questions, I thought somebody would ask me, what are you doing in Africa? I've gotten that question a lot. And I always just say, oh, I'm just having fun in Africa. But it feels good. It feels good to take a jump, take a leap. I say, you know, I'm tired of being in America. I want to go to Africa and experiment. I want to start something new. I want to empower more people, you know, down here. And it's working. It's great. And it's still another part of self-discipline, because if you don't believe that you have the abilities, you can't just carry your family from America to Africa without, you know, no, it takes self-discipline, it takes commitment, it takes dedication. And I'm here and I'm proud to be here and I'm very excited. I thank you all for your listening ears and just being there. And I owe Jason, I owe 10 kwacha. Kwacha is the currency in Zambia, to Daima, Martinez, and Walbin for having their cameras on throughout the whole presentation. It felt good. I felt like I wasn't by myself in this room. And everybody else, thank you guys for your time.
Well, thank you, Cyrille. You know how much I love you and I appreciate you. And, you know, you were the first call in the spring semester. I think it's really important that, you know, you're a part of this. I'll tell you, I have so many stories, right? And Cyrille was never even a student at Hostos, but I have so many stories. But one of my favorite stories of all time was he came, he presented, I think it was the first time he came, and he brought his son with him. And your son was like a young boy at that time. And we were going through the workshop, and similar like today, you know, you guys are like so awe-inspired, you're like taking it in, like you're And his son was just like there, boom, boom, boom. He was up. So whatever he's talking about with you, he was bringing it to his household too. So his son knew exactly what the testimony was. He knew exactly what the teaching was. So it wasn't somebody faking the funk. It wasn't somebody just like, I'm coming in here, I'm just going to sell you a brand and you're going to buy it because it sounds good. No, he was teaching it to his son at home, so much so that his son started to teach the workshop, right? He was, and we're talking, I think your son was like 7 or 8 at that time, maybe?
Yeah, he was 7. Yeah, 7 years
Okay.
old at the time.
He was
Yeah.
7-year-old telling people, this whole message that his dad was bringing to everybody in the room. And so, I mean, that's really, of course, and for all of the other things that you've done for the students at Lehman, for the students in the university, for the students at Hostos, I truly appreciate you. So however you can, whether it's through your hands or your virtual applause, let's give Cyrille a nice virtual applause for being here with us today. I'm sorry about all the technology stuff. I want to thank everybody who allowed me to make them a co-host today to help keep the Wi-Fi going, because I think the weather was messing with a lot of different things in a lot of different places. But yeah, Cyrille, we wish you all the best. I know that you can follow Cyrille in social media, and you can see about some of the films that he's done. He helped his son to write a book as well.
Yeah, he actually wrote 2 books so far. He's a two-time author.
So there you
And
go.
he's 11 years old. you can find his books on Amazon as well. So Jason, you're right. I'm just thinking about that right there, and I actually saw the video. It popped up on my Facebook feed, I think a couple of months back, of him and me being at Hostos, and I reminded him. I was like, you see, when you were younger, you used to go out and speak with me. Now you're already a big guy. We laughed about it, but it feels good to be able to transfer this knowledge to the younger leaders and share my experience. My family and I just share our experience to say, because we did this, it worked for us. So everyone can apply it to themselves.
So thank you again. I just want to take a moment to remind all of you, next week we don't have a workshop. The CUNY Emerging Leaders Conference is going on. I hope that you signed up. Cyrille was a part of that too. He presented at that a couple of times. So they're going to have an in-person version at BMCC. If you can go to that, that'd be great. If you're going to do it virtually, that's cool too. I was on the planning committee, so I made sure that it was all good stuff. And they're going to give out some good goodies as well. We made sure that was going to happen, and food and everything if you go in person. I won't be there because I'm going to be at another conference in Colorado, but I'm going to try to log in virtually and see some of you folks, and I'll check in with my colleagues to see how it goes. And then we'll come back here on March 3rd and do another workshop, and I'll have that posted next week for you. And I'm working on the series moving forward, and some of the conversations that we should have offline when you come and visit me in my offices, should we start to try to do some in-person stuff, and how should we do that, and what would you like to see? So we'll talk about that. Come and see me, come and talk to me about it. Let's have a conversation. I don't want to do it in this time because I want to honor your time here, make sure that we're off by 5. The other thing I'll point out to you is that we're working towards the retreat. So if you're excited about that, when we get down to late April, take you out, put you on the high ropes and the low ropes and the climbing wall, and get you some fresh air, away from the city, away from the Bronx. Not as far as Zambia, but southern New Jersey is kind of cool too. So I hope that you all plan to join us there. We're going to take 46 folks out there and try to have a really good time. And that's what we're working towards the end of the year. So I want to thank you all for being here on time, for lending your support, for being active and engaged in the workshop. Cyrille, I love you. Stay in touch. You know where to find me. And I hope you guys all connect with him as well. He put down that you can find him in social media, and you can find him through me. So if you're not friends with me on Facebook yet, you can do that. And you can find Cyrille through me, and all the speakers that we have throughout the course of the year are all friends with me on Facebook. So if you want to ever find them, you can friend me, and then you can find them through my friends list. So I wish you a happy and a good weekend. I know it's a little extended weekend here because of President's Day. And I hope to see you next week in school when I'm there, and then as we go on through the semester. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you so
great
much.
Thank you,
weekend.
guys.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
See you
Thanks,
all.
everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Good
Cyrille,
night.
take care. Bye, everybody.